Hello and welcome to this session on how to pass the Audit and Assurance exam. My name is Jen Woodhams and I am a Kaplan tutor with over 20 years of experience. Let's have a look at common pitfalls in the AA exam. Rewriting out learnt facts irrespective of the specific wording of the requirement and scenario is unlikely to score marks. Marks are also often lost by not answering the specific question asked for. For example, giving internal controls when asked for control objectives. You must read requirements carefully, identify the mark, verb, if there's more than one part, and if you need to use the scenario. Standard exam time is 3 hours for 100 marks. So that works out at 1.8 minutes per mark. You can attempt the sections and questions in any order, perhaps starting with your stronger areas first. But once you start a question, do as much as the time allows, then move on. In the AA exam, there are common requirements. You'll be asked to describe a specific number of audit risks and explain the auditor's response to each risk. In the first column, to get the full mark, you must explain the audit risk by referencing a specific area of the financial statements and indicate whether it could be over, under, or misstated, or by linking to an assertion like cutoff or valuation. In the second column, your response to the specific audit risk must be a practical action that the audit team will take to gather evidence, not a recommendation for management to fix their business issues. Also, stating that the auditor should increase professional skepticism does not explain how the auditor will gather evidence and will generally only score half a mark unless accompanied by a specific procedure. Similarly, increasing testing is insufficient to gain a mark. You could be asked to identify and explain a specific number of deficiencies in the client's internal control system. To gain a full mark, you must identify what is specifically wrong or missing and explain the implication to the business, not to the auditors, but to the business. For example, how it could specifically lead to the business losing money or losing customer or supplier or employee goodwill, for example. Then you could be asked to provide a recommendation to address each of these deficiencies. Control recommendations must be practical, specific actions rather than just an objective that starts to ensure. You should include details such as who will perform the control and how frequently, otherwise it's hard to score a full mark. Then you may be asked to describe a test of control of that direct control, the strong control. Verbs like check are often too vague. You must specify the document being inspected where applicable and exactly what the auditor is looking for. Remember, it's the auditor that's gathering evidence that the client's employees or systems have performed the control. The auditor can re-perform the control to ensure it's been done properly, but they are not performing the control. Finally, you'll be asked to describe procedures the auditor should perform. To score a full mark, a procedure must detail what document is being reviewed, what is being compared to and why, if applicable. Substantive procedures look for material misstatements in values in the financial statements, while test of controls gather evidence that a company's internal systems are operating effectively. Don't mix these up, otherwise you won't get credit. When using analytical procedures, be specific as to what is being compared, for example, the inventory holding period, and to ensure you get the full mark, state that significant fluctuations must be investigated or discussed with management. Finally, what's your approach to success in the AA exam? You must practice past exam questions under timed conditions without notes and in the CBE practice platform on the ACCA website. Your answers will gain more marks if you do a brief plan before you start and structure your answer using tables, headings, and bullet points where appropriate. Use the mark allocation and the verb to see if you're doing short answers for list, for example, to get half a mark, or longer, full, detailed, concise sentences for explain, which would be worth 1 mark. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. I wish you lots of luck in your AA exam.